Have you ever wondered why the Netherlands is one of the wealthiest nations in the world? With a GDP per capita of over $50,000, this tiny country of windmills, tulips, towering people, and land reclamation from the sea has a remarkable story of human resilience. But how did they achieve such prosperity? From their world-renowned engineering feats in flood prevention and water management to their pioneering role in modern capitalism, and from the infamous TulipMania to their discovery of natural gas, the Dutch have been through it all. In this video, we'll explore the fascinating reasons why the Netherlands is so rich and why its economic success holds valuable lessons for us all. So stick around until the end to discover the secrets of the Dutch economic miracle. The location of the nation is both its greatest strength and its greatest weakness. Although it's a major trading center in Europe, 25% of its land is below sea level. But despite their constant battle with water, the Dutch have become world leaders in dredging, flood prevention, and water management. Given the growing concern about rising sea levels in many countries, their amazing engineering feats, such as the delta works, dams, dikes, and polders, represent a remarkable story of human resilience. The Dutch are very individualistic, and it's debatable whether such societies are more likely to experience collective economic success. But historically, the government exerted considerable economic regulation. When the market economy gained worldwide popularity in the 1980s, economic interventions were drastically scaled back, leading to significant privatization and welfare program restructuring. The Netherlands is widely regarded as the birthplace of modern capitalism, and is still regarded as a market economy despite its continued high levels of regulation. The Dutch East India Company, VOC, which predates contemporary businesses like Amazon, Apple, and Google, had the highest value during the 17th century. Despite committing numerous crimes against humanity and abusing its power through colonialism, the VOC established modern economic principles that serve as a guide for modern corporations. The VOC was eventually surpassed by the British as the world's top trading power in the late 1700s, but the Netherlands is still heavily dependent on international trade. The economic history of the nation teaches us important lessons. Tulips gained enormous popularity after being brought to Europe from Turkey in the middle of the 16th century thanks to their stunning beauty. Due to a virus that caused some tulip varieties to exhibit unique patterns, the wealthy started to collect and display these uncommon bulbs. Tulips with multiple colors were in high demand, and as a result, prices skyrocketed. A single new variety's bulb could be used as a bride's dowry or payment for a flourishing brewery in France in the early 1600s. Between 1633 and 1637, Holland experienced its height of tulipmania, where many people thought that everyone in Europe and the entire world would want to own a vase of tulips. Prices rose to the point where some homes were more expensive than a single flower. Many of the bulbs were sold and resold as future contracts without ever leaving the ground, although some trades for the bulbs were made in cash. TulipMania eventually came to an end in 1637 with a dramatic drop in prices that caused many people to lose their fortunes. TulipMania, which is frequently regarded as the first recorded speculative bubble, serves as a prime illustration of how people frequently ignore an asset's intrinsic value when enthralled by the thrill of buying and selling for profit. Even though paying a hefty price for a tulip bulb may seem illogical, the greater fool theory contends that it can be a sensible investment if the buyer thinks they can sell it for even more in the future. It's frequently disputed whether tulipmania can be compared to temporary economic bubbles like Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Some historians contend that the effects of tulipmania on the Dutch economy were exaggerated. Tulipmania nonetheless serves as a warning about the irrational biases that fuel speculative bubbles and how they form. The 1959 discovery of natural gas in Groningen gave the Dutch economy a big boost, much like the discovery of oil in Norway or the development of banking in Switzerland. The Dutch disease, a phenomenon where the expansion of one sector, typically natural resources, results in a decline in other sectors like manufacturing and agriculture, was also brought about by this discovery. Natural gas exports caused the guilder, the Dutch currency, to appreciate, raising the cost of imports while lowering the price of exports. This highlighted the complicated and frequently paradoxical nature of economic growth, and it had a negative effect on the neighborhood's manufacturing sector. They raised their wages to retain the workers because of the export sector, which generates significant revenue, pays higher wages than other sectors. However, with the decline of other industries, unemployment increases due to the lack of employment opportunities in the expanding sector. Investors also frequently gravitate toward the lucrative export industry. Although the expanding sector provides the government with income that can be used for welfare programs, public infrastructure projects, and military expenditures, it must be done with caution. If the export sector encounters difficulties, the welfare programs may cause issues, necessitating their restructuring. A diverse economy is less prone to the Dutch disease, which is brought on by improper wealth management. Resources can be a curse, not a blessing, as the resource curse shows. This lesson emphasizes the value of diversification in order to prevent putting all your eggs in one basket. The Dutch are grateful for deals and freebies. Instead of buying branded goods, they frequently opt for affordable alternatives that work well. This isn't motivated by greed, but rather a love of simplicity and a desire to blend in. Despite being frugal, the Dutch are also among the countries that contribute the most to development aid. The Dutch place a high value of modesty and are open and honest with one another. Due to its culture of flexible employment, the Netherlands has one of the highest rates of employment, with many people working part-time. Although there's little income inequality, there may be wealth inequality. When there's a sizable middle-class population, wealth inequality is frequently concealed. Despite their vociferous support for social security and superior pension systems, the Netherlands has one of the highest levels of social spending, but it's not the highest. Amsterdam has high rent prices and high household debt. The Netherlands have a relatively high cost of living index. Due to its low fertility rate, which is below replacement levels, and its growing elderly population, the Netherlands is facing a demographic challenge. However, the nation is less open to open immigration policies to increase its working age population than Canada or Australia. Prostitution is now legal and regulated by the government, ensuring safety, resolving various problems, and bringing in tax revenue for the nation. The Netherlands has a high tax revenue to GDP ratio, and its citizens and businesses make sizable investments abroad. Numerous significant corporations, such as Royal Dutch Shell, Heineken, and Philips, are based there, and the populace has a high level of faith in the government. The nation, however, also has a high ranking in the Corporate Tax Haven Index and Financial Secrecy Index, indicating that it's a tax haven. The Netherlands, despite advocating for clean energy initiatives, has stopped extracting natural gas because of unusual earthquakes. With significant ports and connections to Euro corridors, it's an essential component of Europe's distribution system. It's an important port for Germany's economy and provides warehouse and distribution services to multinational corporations. Its economy is more closely linked to the European Union than the United Kingdom because it's a member of the Eurozone, where the European Central Bank is in charge of monetary policy. It's unclear how the recent EU tax harmonization plan will impact the nation's status as a tax haven. The Netherlands' remarkable adoption of technology in agriculture is a logical outcome of its dense population. The Dutch agricultural sector maximizes output while using the least amount of labor possible thanks to highly automated greenhouses and cutting-edge technology. The best agricultural university is consistently ranked Wageningen University, which is frequently compared to Stanford. Despite being the world's second largest exporter of agricultural goods, the Netherlands does not, according to a number of sources, rank among the top producers of food. Linking the value of exports solely to the agricultural innovation in the Netherlands is misleading, because many of the exported goods are actually first imported from other nations, some of which use low-wage farming methods. Due to government subsidies and high tariffs on cheap imports from developing nations, the agricultural sector in the European Union continues to be profitable. A significant portion of the Netherlands' exports is in edible goods, like flowers, which are also imported and traded within the nation. But it's also the EU's biggest exporter of meat, sending veal and beef to Germany, poultry to the UK, and pork to China. More affordable pork for China can be produced by the Dutch than by the Chinese themselves. Dairy products and some vegetables are among the other important exports. As we wrap up this discussion on why the Netherlands is so incredibly rich, it's clear that the Dutch have achieved their economic success through a combination of factors. Their engineering feats in water management, historical economic regulation, and early adoption of modern capitalism are just a few of the many factors that have contributed to their wealth. However, it's also important to recognize the challenges that the Dutch have faced along the way, such as the Dutch disease and the dangers of a single resource economy. Through careful management and diversification, they've been able to overcome these challenges and maintain their economic prosperity. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more informative content.